My Star Trek coffee and cuddle are due at 7:02. Oh, happy is the life I lead. Yes, it tends to be the procedure these days for me to stop walking roughly about 7 and have a cup of coffee, have a cuddle with Damson and watch Star Trek. I'm really getting into it actually. I'm really quite enjoying it. Every episode, something new, exciting. The episode series are quite long though, because they're like 24 episodes per series. So it's not like you come to the end of a series very quickly, because each episode's about 45 minutes. I think that is probably one of the problems about Star Trek, that it is very long for each episode. So you can really only watch one a day. But yeah, it is great. And I think if it wasn't 45 minutes, it probably wouldn't be so good. So. Start off with, I often mention the weather in these videos. Sort of like a Balamory thing, isn't it? You know, today in Balamory, it's a sunny day. And everybody's busy going to work and school. Yesterday was a ferocious day. The wind was amazing. But it was really fascinating. I was walking, quite early, as you know I do, on my walks about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And it was just fascinating to see this wind and the power that was in it. The sheer volume of power in this wind. It was amazing. Things were being blown about, and things which are really quite heavy were being thrown across the floor, and it was really fascinating. And fascinating is the only fascinating word I can say, because it was fascinating to watch this sheer power in this wind. And I think a lot of poets have made that connection, that nature is sometimes very violent. Today I was watching, listening to Fires of Vulcan, which is it's not something to do with Spock. No, it's when the Doctor goes to Pompeii, and that was obviously just a second. That was obviously brings up the question: how can there be two Doctors there at once? And for me, who suffers with anxiety, this is something which really gets me, because I can't see how the two Doctors can be there at the same time without them knocking into each other, because they're in the same bloody place. But basically the 7th Doctor is there because UNIT have found the TARDIS in 1980, and the TARDIS has been buried under, somewhere in Pompeii. And throughout the whole story, you're kind of thinking, what, how, because it is quite confusing. It's a very good story. The plot, the characters, wonderful. Some of them are a bit bossy, but yeah. And so you kind of wonder, how come the two Doctors be there at the same time? Well, while Vesuvius is erupting, the Doctor is, I suppose, inside the volcano, or however that story works in the Fires of Pompeii. And the other Doctor is running about Pompeii looking for Mel, so they can both get into. I didn't watch the last 2 episodes, so I can't actually comment, but that was that. That was that. And the final thing I wanted to talk about was religion, because we just had Easter, and because I don't like going through Easter and not sort of going through the story, as it were. I mean, we have Stations of the Cross, but also I like to go through it with Jesus in a way, not actually physically, obviously, but so I watched Passions of the Christ. I didn't want to watch Jesus of Nazareth because I watched that for 2 years running, and I wanted something different. Passions of the Christ, yes, it focuses mainly on what you want it to, but it doesn't focus on the resurrection, which is not so good. I mean, it says on Wikipedia that there is a brief mention of the resurrection, and they are quite right. It is very brief. It's about 20 seconds or something. But what I liked about Passion of the Christ is you can actually feel the what's happening, and you can really, you know, you can really start to think, yes, in all seriousness, Jesus died for our sins. You can see the sacrifice. You can see, and you can really believe that he died for us, and you can see all of what he did for us. And that's something that I think comes out immensely powerful in that movie. Of course, it is only a movie, but it does make you. I think, in a way, you can say this is very much how it would have been. People are atheists. We have atheists in our community, and that's fair enough, I suppose. But I think the reason I'm religious is because there are occasions when I suddenly get a surge of satisfaction. And I feel like Jesus, yes, he did so much for us. And the things he did were amazing. And I think that comes across in the best way when you listen to hymns and the words that come in hymns. Like, for example, would you kiss the leper clean and do such as this unseen? And na in you, in me. And I think, again, it's a very beautiful message which is put in there. Would you kiss a leper because God told you to? And I think that's, would you, for Jesus, kiss a leper? And I think if you did, and I probably would, then it would show your pure dedication to Christ. And I think that is why I am a Christian, and a very proud one. I have a very strong connection with God, and I can say that with a lot of certainty, because every day I'm thinking, oh, should I say that? That's wrong. That is a sin. So I think, again, that's probably linked to my anxiety, but yeah. And without this video spiraling out of control with time, I shall bid you farewell. I shall drink my coffee and go and watch Star Trek. Goodbye.